is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
Was that Phil?
Yes.
That was Phil again?
Yeah. He came by.
Damn.
Stop by.
You know, Phil's
See you later, Phil. Bye.
We're going to talk about your award later, Phil. Should be pretty fun. And also, we're going to talk to everyone in the chat, guys. Thanks for rocking out with us here. Xbox just dropped amazing news.
Mega time.
Hey, we're talking about a bunch of different stuff today, guys, including some brand new Xbox games. They are updating one of their current games as well, making that look a lot better, as well as a bunch of other crap that we hope to discuss with you. Hey, let everyone know what you think of the Dying Light 2 footage. Are you enjoying it? Are you not? I got something interesting to talk about with it. We'll definitely get into that, but this is Dying Light 2 running on Series X. And obviously, guys, let us know your thoughts as we go. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show. And, of course, we appreciate you. And already, got to give a shout out to Flack J Juice. He does say stream won't start until we all, hit the like button. So appreciate you, buddy. We got some good panel members today. We got some good shout-outs today. D-Batch, how you been, buddy?
I'm good, man. Another week, another show. I know we're a little bit late today, so let's just get on with the good topics.
Yeah, we certainly are. Fonzarelli, buddy, how you been?
I've been good, been great. Finally getting my Dark Plates 2.0 from D-Brand. They'll be in tomorrow. So, yeah, they had those shipping problems just like everybody else in the world. So, getting them tomorrow, and I might post a video on it. I might post a video of me breaking my console. I don't know, because I've never tried to remove the plates. It'll be funny, though.
I think you should just break it. Just slam it on the ground. It'll do
I'll just pick it off the shelf like you did.
We've also got xCloud Tim Dog. How you doing?
Doing good. We got a lot to talk about. I saw the list of all the stuff that we're going to talk about, so we got a lot to get to. So let's get to it.
We're getting into some hellback news / going in on a developer who later elaborated. We'll go into some of that stuff. We've also got Zalk87. How you been?
Good, brother. Good. Just playing a lot of Dying Light 2. Glad to be here. There's a lot of topics. People retiring, Sony buying stuff, and Dying Light 2 sucking ass. Moving on.
What the fuck?
Just saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where everybody's got their take. Let us know yours, chat, if you play Dying Light. We've also got Fork Boy. I want to have him on this week. Community member, obviously member of Gaming Beyond the Box, a friend of mine. How you been, Fork?
I've been good, man. Been working. Looking forward to getting on the show. I know we've been talking back and forth for a couple months now, so excited to see
not one, but two
what we
codes for
talk about
Dying Light 2
tonight.
tonight.
Touch.
One of them is
well,
coded
I got to
for
give a
Europe.
shout out to Dark CMF, who says he's giving away not one, but two codes of Dying Light. One is coded for Europe. Obviously, one is for the States. And that's just a massive shout out to Dark CMF for giving away games. Two codes for Dying Light, guys. For those in the chat, he said Dark is Dark. Dark is good. Fonz, Dark is good. Yes. Okay. Shout out to you, brother. But yeah, I mean, who else is giving away these mini games? Fonz, you got some codes you don't tell nobody about?
I know I don't have any giveaways. Not this week, guys. I'm sorry about that. But thanks to Dark CMF for always giving out those codes.
Yeah, he'll give those out throughout the show, guys. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes glued to the chat. We'll announce that when he gives them away. And I got to give some shout outs to the patron here. Starting with Dub Mobile. Shout out to you, new shout out to your member. We've also got Dave Incubus, Ricky Falam, Faultlines, Not Silik, Bad Boy Live, Achievement, Nanopolymath, Zoran, Costanza, KY Bob, Goose842, Strike Khalifa, Assassin Lupa, Foreign Object, Teo, John Blue, Gab Queest, as well as Vec Boss, Steve X, Real Doing Suicide King, Michael Bowen, Tasteless Genie, and Guillermo Cavillo. I ain't seen you in a minute, but I hope you're all right, brother. All Might, Dark CMF, as well as Alfonso Hogan. Shout out to you guys. The first topic, Dying Light. This is interesting because we've got a couple different things to get into here. It's definitely going to be pretty fun to talk about. First and foremost, I just want to talk about how mine is broken. I just want to get that out of the way. Let's clear the air.
Right.
28 hours in, I've gone ham on this game, and I've got an infinite death spawn loop. Where I spawn, I have 4 seconds to do whatever I want. That's not enough time to call my mom, and I die, right?
You can't do that.
I fast travel everywhere. There's no fix right now. Developers basically say they got to patch it. So that playthrough is completely fucked, and that wasn't a just run through the main story playthrough. Like, that was really going hard on everything in the game. But you know, we'll come back to that because there has been a technical breakdown, some people's favorites, of Dying Light, and the developer says, for one, that there's a Series S GPU bottleneck, which that's laughable. We're gonna get into that, which he later elaborated on. Zach, I don't know if you remember what he said, but it all came full circle. The Xbox Series X running at 1800p 30 ray tracing, or is that in the resolution mode? And 1080p 60, no ray tracing, which is controversial in both PS5 and Series X. We know these consoles can do more than that. That seems a little fucking ridiculous to me. And then we've got an exclusive VRR mode coming for Series X and Series S running 1080p 30 frames per second, no ray tracing. Now, when asked about this on Twitter, this developer went out and basically said that the Series S GPU is the bottleneck, and later went on to elaborate, you know, that they're going to patch all this crap and that it's really them, you know. But at the end of the day, Tim Dog, did you happen to see this or hear about this much on Twitter?
Yeah, I didn't really address it because I kind of felt like, you know, I don't think I think it was he's pushing off part of his duty, and he tried to kind of scapegoat the Series S, and I have to say, it definitely made the rounds. I saw a lot of people making fun of the Series S and certain things like that. But if you're going to logically look at the situation, there's different developers, there's different things that, you know, come into play when you make a game, and there are other games that are much more technically, you know, impressive than Dying Light 2 that are out that are, you know, doing 1080p 60 or 1440p.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the case may be. I just kind of feel like they're a little under pressure, and they've had a whirlwind of issues, whether it's the server issues or issues like you're talking about, the bugs and stuff like that. I've been playing it. I haven't encountered any of it, but yeah, like I said, it definitely made the rounds, but I didn't pay much attention to it because if you really look at the situation, I think that, you know, and even at its worst, if it's 1080p 30, that's not the end of the world. It's a $299 machine, and they're obviously not leveraging next gen
features or anything.
You know, they're not leveraging any kind of next gen technology that's built into the system.
Yeah.
That it's capable of. So I kind of felt like it was a nothing burger.
Well, you know what? When I see anybody mention this, because we know what Series S is capable of, and I hate it when people try to take that from Microsoft. What they managed to do for $299, it's impressive, man. And I hate seeing people run around with bullshit like this, knowing that Far Cry runs at 1440p dynamic with 60 frames per second, Far Cry 6 on Series S. Like, that's impressive, right? There are tons of games that are not only doing 1080p 30, or rather 1440p 30, but 1080 60, even 1440p 60 on Series S, and even beyond on some other games. And Dying Light developer, a game that, mind you, has, I don't know, how many bugs were in the first day patch? Was it like 1,000 bug fixes? Yeah, 1,000 bug fixes in the day one patch, which is why I couldn't get an early copy of the Xbox version, why a lot of people couldn't, because the game is barely running properly. It does not even support HDR, and you're going to tell me that your optimization, that comes after you get the game running decent. You're going to tell me that's not the reason why this stuff's running like this on PS5 and Xbox Series X, and especially even Series S? Like, point the finger at yourself before you sit there and say the GPU is a bottleneck, which, by the way, and I have to say this because it's something that a lot of people aren't even thinking about. What the fuck happened to checkerboarding? They're not even using DRS, dynamic resolution. They're not doing any of these things. FSR on the console, they could easily get this thing up and running at a reprojected high resolution, at the very least, to double the frame rate. But they're not doing that. It's like a set it up, get it going, and let it go, and fuck it, it's done. That's what I'm getting from it.
Yeah, to elaborate on what you and Tim said, there's tiers, and I'm not a developer, obviously, and I don't have the talent or skill that these guys have, so I don't want to put anybody down. And I am enjoying the game for what it is, to be honest with you. However, there are tiers, so there's some developers that are able to get a lot more out of hardware. Tim's right. There's a lot of games out there that look a lot better than what Dying Light 2 is doing, and they're not as demanding off of your hardware. For example, this game on my 3090, I have to put DLSS on in quality mode in order to get 4K 60.
So you really run it
tracing
like
on.
1440, 60, reconstructed up to 4K is basically what that's like.
Pretty much. When I run it at 4K on my 3090, I'm getting about like 40, 45 frames per second with everything turned on. So that goes to show you the optimization. Also on PC, a 1650 Super, an RTX 3050 is able to produce 1080p 60 FPS on this game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason why the Xbox Series S shouldn't be doing it unless it's some type of optimization issue. The hardware is definitely capable of it, and you did make a valid point. There's other methods. You could use dynamic resolution. You could use, you could I don't know, certain
FSR.
parts.
I mean, they've taken the time to use DLSS on PC, but they didn't use the equivalent on console. They didn't.
You have FSR, which is a free tool, which is easy to implement. I don't understand why they wouldn't do it for this game. This was a perfect candidate for that game. So when it comes down to the developer at the end of the day, and I will say though, it is running fine for me on PC. I do enjoy the game, but at the same time, we got to be honest here. That game is demanding too much from the hardware for what you're actually getting.
Well, they also did get compared to Valhalla in Assassin's Creed games and Ubisoft games. And Xbox gamers were like, how can we get the Xbox Series S to run better with Valhalla at 60 frames per second and an option that was a free upgrade? And they were like, and the guy responded, after saying that the GPU is holding us back, he said, good, but philosophical question. I guess no one can answer. We need to recreate the world, the AI, the traversal mechanics in a different engine and see. But I admit Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a piece of fantastic tech. I adore the game. Anyways, we tried and we'll try even more. So that was his response to people being like, dude, there's all these other big games that are using this system and saying, wow, it's a pretty good piece of tech and getting 60 FPS, if not more on it. While the Series X, might we add, is like running games at 4K 60, if not higher with 120. And it's like all you can get is 1080p 30 and then only 30 frames more on a Series X. Like seriously, like 1080 60? Like that is the dumbest thing. And like D was saying, I got the code, thankfully through like getting it through like, for review for on PC, and on my 3090, I was having the same issues. The optimization is not there. Like you could just tell, like it's not optimized whatsoever. Like they brought the game out, they basically fixed some bugs, and they brought it out hot. Like, and this is after 3 or 4 delays. Like, listen, I'm having trouble with the game on many levels. Like just creatively, the way that the game is. I enjoyed the first one, but at the end of the day, you can tell that this was just not optimized well, especially on the consoles. Like the effort is even on the PS5, it is fucking abysmal.
Well,
like, that is not the way you should do it.
I'm enjoying the game a little differently from yourself. I'm enjoying the game, and that's without co-op, because co-op right now, it crashes every 10 minutes. I get disconnected. Some people don't. That's great. I know on PC where you're playing, you haven't had that issue, but on console, like, it's, at least for me, I can't play for more than 10 minutes and I get disconnected from that person. But despite that, I was starting to really get into that. 28 hours in, it said, I don't believe all of that. Maybe 20. I don't know how 8 hours that would be the minimum. It just don't seem right. But either way, it's a lot of time, man. I'm to the second city already. And then that happened. The game-breaking bug I talked about at the beginning of the show. And I got to wait for a patch. Bottom line, I don't mind if developers don't have the resources or they don't have the manpower or they have issues internally, and that's why certain things aren't to the way that they would want. But don't come out bullshitting everybody about why the game's running at 1080p 30 on the Series S when fucking Assassin's Creed Valhalla is running at 60 frames on the Series S. And again, when you're not using checkerboarding, FSR, you're not even using DRS, you're not even optimizing the game on PS5 or Series X, which, by the way, to get the same settings and performance as Series X, you only need a 2060 on PC. We've already proven, and Digital Foundry's already confirmed, this thing is closer to a 2080 Super. There's so much performance left on the table on top of the additional features, RDNA 2 features in the Series X and S that aren't even being used by the game. So there's a lot left. So when you feed people this information that the GPU is the bottleneck, which is by far the most scalable part in the whole system, that just seems weird, man. You don't hear that from developers too much right now, especially. Usually you talk about RAM theoretically or this or that, a last generation CPU, but GPU now, where they literally have FSR for all this stuff, you're not using it, that's fine, but don't feed everybody some bullshit.
And can I say, let me say this really quick, D. And the other thing is that the game for the co-op, like, funny enough, that's the one thing that has been consistently working for me. Like, is that, and then I get on parties with Dealer and Colt and everybody, and they're like, oh, I'm disconnected. Oh, I'm gone. God damn it. Like, and they're irritated. And I'm sitting there going, like, it's so all over the place. And I just want everybody to know the co-op and where the game starts to fall apart on the seams around everywhere is after that 2-hour basically intro that you have to play the game, which by then you can't refund the game because you played it for more than 2 hours. So when the game starts having more problems is when you can't refund
out
it.
of the Xbox
That to
One
me
X, which
is
ran games
fucking.
at full 4K,
this is just me talking, right? Like I don't know if they did it on purpose, but that to me just seems slimy.
We have
Once
Zen 2
you get into the
CPUs
open
now.
world, you're like, oh,
No
this is kind of
excuse.
weird. Oh, this is glitchy. No, this is, and then you're like, damn, this is actually not working properly.
Well, let me give a shout out to.
And then you can't do anything about it.
Let me give a shout out to KY Bob. He says Techland's console optimization is trash. They said that PC was the priority, and he's also talking about how with the One X, the Xbox One X, you were able to achieve a higher resolution at 30 FPS, and of course now you got Zen 2. It's no excuse. KY Bob's got some good points there, man. Shout out to KY Bob. And then we've also got who's that? Kilintus. I don't know if I pronounced that right, brother, but new channel member. Shout out to you. And then Hargeet. Shout out to Hargeet. Says hashtag Sony is a monopoly. Hashtag put Elden Ring Game Pass. Yes, Elden Ring Game Pass. I don't know. Zachary, Elden Ring Game Pass. What do you think?
I'm good. I don't want Dark Souls. I mean Demon Souls. I don't. That game.
He says also Zalker's the toddler.
Sekiro.
Oh, and Zalker is a toddler.
Zalker is a toddler.
Zalker is a toddler.
So, and then shout out to Scrub Nurse too, real quick. Always love seeing Scrub Nurse.
Toddler.
Oh my God.
Scrub Nurse says, shout out to the great panel and the chat. He says, of course, let's have a great night and talk some trash. I mean, games.
So, talking about co-op, one thing that nothing was mentioned prior to launch, and this is because two people that I know of, one has an Xbox One X, the other one has a Series X, and they play together a lot. Nowhere was it mentioned you cannot play co-op with last gen and new gen.
You can't?
Nope. And I'll say their names. Jerica on Twitter and Freak. They play together constantly. Co-op is their biggest thing, and they love Dying Light 1. I gifted them both games, and then I found out the next day they can't even play together. I'm like, that sucks. Then I searched everywhere, and nowhere did they ever say, hey, by the way, you can't play PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 co-op. You also can't play Xbox One and Series X together. And it's like, why?
Because they're not going to have it at launch. They mentioned that there's going to even be crossplay between PC, PlayStation, Xbox, blah, 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 whatever. But they're not going to have it at launch. So they said,
yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. Hey, we got to give a shout out to almost 1,000 people watching live already, guys. Hit the like button. Tell everybody you about the show. We do appreciate it. Obviously, let us know your thoughts. Dying Light, I like it. Like, I'm not shitting on the game. I'm shitting on, the logic that was thrown out there, and I don't want to be fed bullshit by developers that think we don't know better. Shout out to the developer. I'm sure he's a nice guy. He did go back and elaborate and say, maybe it wasn't meant the way that some people was taking it, but how else can it be really taken? I would say wait on the game. And I only say that because like I said, infinite death loop bug. I have 4 seconds. It says I'm out of the mission area. No matter what I do, I've done every single thing the developer has actually talked about and said there is no fix right now. So I just had to sit there for a week to, I don't know how long, and wait for a patch, and I was really enjoying the game, and that kind of sucks. So I can't possibly recommend it at this point in time. But hopefully, if you decide to pick it up anyway, you don't have that issue. Tim Dog's playing it. He hasn't had any issues yet. He's probably. Are you out of the prologue yet, Tim?
Well, it's funny because I did get out of the prologue to the open world, and then I was trying to get into. I didn't know that you had to play 2 hours to get into co-op, so I tried to get into co-op with another player, and I rewrote this. I had to start all over.
That's what they said. They were like, it's broken, and people were like, the developer was telling people you got to get to the prologue, and they're like, I'm 2 hours in. What do you mean? It's like, you got to get to the open world where Hakan leaves you out to go. Like Dealer, I'm 20, 25 hours in, and I'm just sitting here man, this game it's big. There's a lot going on, but I'm gonna beat it.
Well, I'm enjoying it. I will say though, the point with 2 hours and the returns on Steam. How it's a 2 hour prologue and the 2 hour window for return on Steam. It's kind of curious, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I speed ran the prologue earlier. I was gonna like start over. I was willing to fucking start over. I don't know why. I was an idiot, right? I got past the prologue. I speed ran it, bashed through all the conversations, second time through, did everything perfect. Took an hour and 11 minutes. And I was like, fuck, man. Like, that's bashing at speed running through the prologue. You probably do it a little faster. But point is, just hold off. If you haven't had that issue, hopefully none of you get the same glitch I got. It really, really sucks once more. So I just can't, I really can't sit there and back it. Do got to give a shout out. Zachary, we got one from Dark CMF. If you want to get that, we'll get the next topic.
Yeah. So we got, he put the Dying Light code up for people to grab.
Which one
we
is
also
it?
have one. He put up a code for Dying Light. I have the other thing I have is KY
European
Bob
code.
Okay.
Yeah, European code. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
And then we got a KY Bob.
I think I already got KY Bob.
Techland's console optimization is trash. That one.
Yep. Got it.
Okay.
But yeah, shout out to Dark CMF giving away a copy of Dying Light 2. And it's a shame that we were like, hold off. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to try it, this is the perfect time without maybe spending $1 on it. So shout out to KY Bob, Dark CMF for supplying that, man. We also got to kind of update everybody on Bungie, what's happened in the last week. We got some news, Fonzarelli, that 1.2 billion of that 3+ billion transaction was apparently there to basically have employee retention, ensure that those employees would not just run off like the building was on fire once Sony bought them. And obviously, there was another thing that we mentioned last week, that the movie rights and them wanting to make a Destiny show or a movie was a big incentive. And apparently that was one of the things that sealed the deal after Microsoft passed on them. What were your thoughts on 1.2 billion just to retain the talent there?
Well, from what I've read and what I've seen, this is pretty much standard. It happens in a lot of deals to retain the talent, of course. And you know what? That's cool. At least the talent's getting bonuses, right? They're getting some money up front, and I think that's well deserved. So yeah, I have no issue there. As for the making a movie or whatever, I'm not interested in a Destiny flick. I'm just not, and I know that a lot of people out there want to see something like that.
But you're a Destiny fan.
Look, well, yeah, I was a fan of the game. I played the game, and I had a lot of fun with it. But the story left a lot to be desired for me. And just now looking at the Halo trailer for the Halo movie, yeah, after seeing that, I don't really want to see these games be made into movies and stuff if they're going to be like that. I'm sorry, guys. Some of you are really hype on it. I don't think it looks very good at all. And to me, Destiny will just follow the same route. It's just no.
That's fucked up logic. That's like saying that there's never been a good this or that, so there never will be.
When it comes to video games, I don't know, man. I don't remember a video game turning into a great movie.
Yeah.
The Witcher show's pretty damn good, man.
Hey, chat, what are some good video game shows?
Based off of books.
There's been some good Mortal Kombat movies.
What?
Oh my god.
Hey chat, let us know if you think there's been some good Mortal Kombat movies.
Mortal Kombat!
D-Badge bringing the energy. We got to get it. We got to get it from somewhere.
I mean, Halo looks sick, bro. Halo looks sick. I'm sorry. Like, come on.
Only thing I didn't like about Halo was Master Chief's voice. I see some people, they don't like Cortana, but she sounded like Cortana. I don't care if she looked like her 100% because it's real world, right? So it's going to look a little bit different. Master Chief looked fine. It's just the voice. The voice threw me off. But at the same time, just seeing a clip like that, I don't think it does it justice. You gotta see the whole series,
like
or
the highest,
a couple episomes before I can.
The highest rated stuff is like Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Like that's the only highest rated movie I can think of that's like universally liked from video game. Like people really enjoyed that movie. Yeah, for me personally, Witcher. I enjoy The Witcher. I know people don't like it, but I enjoyed the Warcraft movie. Thought that was actually pretty decent. So. I think there could be I think there could be stuff that you can bring over, and I think Halo looks sick, dude. I don't know, man. Halo looks fucking sick.
What I didn't like was Uncharted.
CW to me, it don't look right.
Uncharted looked bad. I don't know. Like I like Spider-Man and everything, whatever his name is. But for Nathan Drake, it just, man. Like I've seen homemade fan service that looked look better than that, man. I don't know. I'm not looking
How
forward.
dare
to that
you,
one.
Mark
That's
Wahlberg
the
for
miss.
life, son.
Hey, by the way, KY Bob says the easiest fix for the infinite death loop glitch in Dying Light 2 would be just manual saves. Which, you know, if you remembered to save manually and have an extra slot, because you can never predict when this is going to happen, but I guess you could once you knew it was an issue. Well, yeah, manual saves, but there's no word on that. I can confirm that if you start 2 playthroughs, it will have multiple load slots, though. You can go load the old one or load the new one. I don't know how many slots you get, but there are more than one that doesn't overwrite. So I did risk that today, and I did it all for science. But yeah, I mean, Destiny Bungie, I mean, not even Fonz cares, and he watches soap operas when he plays Last of Us. You know,
Hold on, the best video game to movie was Mario Brothers with those Goombas. I don't give a fuck.
yeah.
As much as I love, bro,
That's
as much
just
as I
fire.
love The Last of Us, I am not looking forward to that TV show.
Mm.
I'm just not.
I will say this though. I have less faith in Sony doing these type of movies. I'll probably get hate here, but like Venom,
Fanboy.
they like ruined it, man. Like
the first
should
movie was
be-
trash.
The second one was trash too. I thought the
Second
first one
one
was
got
better than the
worse.
second one. I thought the first one
Yeah.
was better than the second, to be honest. Second
Yeah,
one was
people
like,
love those
what
fucking
the hell?
movies too. Like they love the Venom movies. Like they enjoyed them. They're like, dude, it was really good, and they make a lot of money. I'm like, what?
And I'm like,
Well, it
these-
deviated
Ugh.
so much from the source material for starters. So,
Remember, he's like, I'm a loser on my planet. I was
I'm
like,
a
all right,
fucking
Venom.
loser, Eddie.
I'm a loser, Eddie. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm a loser on my own planet. That's why I'm here, Eddie. You fuck. Hey,
Yeah, see, I've
hey-
watched Venom way too many times because my 8-year-old loves that movie. So
well, I'm sorry, Fork Boy. Hey, we got to give a
Yeah.
shout out to everybody watching this, though, guys. Let us know what you think about these movie TV shows. If you think a Destiny show or Destiny movie would be good. And Fork Boy's a Destiny fan. He watches Destiny soap operas. He makes them. Why aren't you excited for this?
honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with Destiny. I'll play it up to a certain point, and then I get to a certain point and realize I'm just wasting my time. Like I'm 1355, and now I'm at the point where I have to do bounties every single day just for the season to reset. Once that season resets, all those levels that are made up, and I'm using finger quotes because that's what they are, go away, and I start off at 1330 again going, and I'm like, I'm literally just kicking myself in the nuts every season. I grind away for levels that never exist.
Well, that's the
I've
magic
done
of
all the
Destiny.
raids. I mean, mind you, I'm nowhere near Ash and Luca's numbers or some other people, but I'm almost 1,000 hours into Destiny. I find it fun, but my biggest thing with Destiny that I worry about, honestly, is, Bungie's only worth what, 2.5 or 2.6 billion dollar market cap.
3.6.
Well, no, 3.6 is what they paid. 1.2 billion of that was to keep employees. That's a lot of money to keep employees. Like, I don't know. To
that's
me,
standard.
I'm not a business person. To me, I'm kind of like, that doesn't sound good. Like, that sounds like there's already issues, and this is just adding more problems.
They overpaid for sure, 100%. 100%.
Yeah,
A little
I mean,
bit, yeah, but
if I give someone 25 to 40% of their market cap, hey, by the way, this is money to keep your employees happy. Well, why do I have to do that? What are they upset about that they would leave? I mean, they should be happy someone's buying them Sony. People complained that
They tricked
since
someone into buying
Activision
them.
left, that Bungie was not as good as what it was. So now you have Sony putting in tons of money, and it stays everywhere, so everybody could still play it.
See, I don't really, I don't like the argument there against that 1.2 being allocated to the developers because, hell, developers deserve it.
I'm not saying they don't deserve it.
No,
I
they
know
deserve
that.
it.
I know that, but when you look at what they did there with that portion of the money of that 3.6 billion that they spend overall, then it kind of makes it a little bit better to me anyway, the deal. It's like, okay, they gave that to the developers, and now the rest of it, what did they spend?
Well, percentage-wise, this just in, Xbox spent $15 billion to make sure the developers stay there. Yeah, I mean
look
it's
at
a little odd.
look at the situation, man. I mean,
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard, Microsoft spent $68.7 billion on that sucker.
They
I mean,
dropping
that's
bills.
a lot of cashola.
You know who else is dropping cashola? Hargeet, Game Pass, Ultimate, 3 months, US code. I had to do it. And then Jake11 says Resident Evil was really good. There was 50 of them, and I'm not sure if that's true, Jake, but I appreciate your opinion. And then we've also got Boba Fett. Shout out to you. He says Sony doesn't make money. They only produce the games. and headphones. Okay, shout out to you, buddy. And then Dark CMF again with a Dying Light US code this time. Shout out to you, Dark, man. Giving away Dying Light 2 for the Xbox consoles in the US, UK. Check the chat. Last one here for now. Don Otaku, Arcane, and Sonic Show. Oh, Arcane was really good.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I forgot. That's amazing.
Yeah, Arcane was really good, but I think we're talking more movies. But yeah, I guess it shows Witcher and stuff.
Resident Evil was all right, man, to be honest. The ones with Mia Jovovich, they were pretty good.
What's her name, D-Back?
I saw one
Mia
of those
Jovovich
movies.
or whatever.
I saw one of those movies and never saw them again. The guy that created that with her, I think it's her husband too. They made a Monster Hunter movie too, apparently.
Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, I think I saw that, and R.I.P.
I gotta say, Arcane is the best one to say. Arcane from the League of Legends show on Netflix is one of the best animated, if not one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's amazing.
It is good, chat. Check it out. It's not like the game. I would never.
No, you don't have to know. You don't have to know anything about the game at all.
It's not anything like the game. It's actually a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know, R.I.P. to Mia Jovovich or whatever the fuck. Also, R.I.P. to Shannon Loftus, who retired. Shannon Loftus, she was the one that sat on the couch and had the donuts at Gamescom. Tim Dog, I don't know if you remember. You don't really talk anymore, but you got anything to say on Shannon Loftus? She left.
After 30 or 29 years. You know, she was a good Xbox person. You know, she was cool. Very cool to the fans from my meetings with her. She got herself in a little bit of trouble with the politics on Twitter, and that was like 2019 or whatever, and that was the last I've ever seen her publicly. But yeah, I think that she had a good career, and you know, you hit 30 years, you know, you know, it's time to go sometimes. So she left, and you know, she was running World's Edge, so it was a good job, and she did a good job, and you know, just good luck to her. She's a good person from my meetings with her.
And she ran the studio that released Age of Empires. Hopefully hits console soon. And she's out. Do you think she'll go and work at Sony now, Tim Dog?
No, I heard she's done. Done.
She's retired, like, from everything?
Yeah, I don't think she's going to be. Personal opinion, I think she's just doing her thing. I think she had a good gig at Microsoft and Xbox. I think this was more just you know, a retirement. She hit 30 years or came close to it, and did a lot.
Yeah, this just in. Sony allocated $1.2 billion for Shannon Loftus. So they're waiting on it.
Well, shout out to Shannon Loftus. She's a nice lady. She did call someone a fat fuck on Twitter one time or something like that, but shout out to Shannon. And
I vaguely remember that.
You messy.
What? I didn't do it. I'm not allowed to remember shit.
That's a good one.
Everyone knows that it's not like, hey, people say things, they make mistakes, and you know, who knows? I'm not judging her. I think it's, you know, I thought it was kind of funny because she did that on Twitter, and I was like, whoa, she should know better. But she's being messy, whatever. Right. Yeah, she's done. She retired, but she's nice. She did a good job keeping that studio over there, World's Edge, kind of running, paying the checks, handing the checks out, and those guys got Age of Empires out. And apparently it was pretty high quality. Can't wait to play it on console, Xbox. Fonzarelli.
It's a really good game. Really good game.
Fonzarelli Platinum Games from, you know, the guys that almost made part of Scalebound one time.
Yeah.
They are begging for a little bit of Xbox attention.
So, you know what? It's funny, all the different headlines you're seeing, right? You got, like, Platinum Games appeals to Xbox. Please help us make Scalebound. Phil, let's do it together. And so this all stems from, you know, their president there at Platinum Games, at Sushi in Naba, I think his name is. Anyways, he's just been talking about Scalebound, I guess, and he wants to appeal to Phil Spencer directly, he says. Let's do it, Phil. And I just find this cringe as hell, number one. And number two, let that game die.
Oh, shit.
Let it die. I posted on Twitter, let it go, people. And people, there's so many more people that want this game still than don't.
Yeah.
Listen. When that game came out and they showed it at E3, Nobody talked about it.
It
Nobody
looked like
was
a mess.
Nobody cared about it. And then
Until it
was
got
like
canceled.
until it got canceled. And listen, that guy Kiami, sorry if I messed his name up. He blocked even Phil, I think, at times. He blocked everyone. So I mean, I don't know what his deal is now that he's coming back out. Maybe he's desperate, but it would have been nice at the time if we could have got the game going. But like Fawn says, I don't think you'd really touch this game.
We got other shit going on now, Tin Dog. I think we have something a little like 500,000 studios now. We got a lot of studios, and it's a little hard to get old Platinum in there when in 2012, Phil signed them to make a game for him. 4 years later, they come back and say, more money, miss deadline after deadline, and still don't get the game running decently when other developers are doing it to double the frame rate. Now, even though they released 8 other games during the development of Scalebound, they released 8 other fucking projects and then still can't get Scalebound done, still can't stay on task. So they got fired. They got let go. And now, I guess, I don't know, Tim, you're right. What the fuck is his name? Anyway, he's like, hey, man.
They owned up to it. Kiami, whatever, Kimiya, whatever. He fucking owned up to it and was like, yeah, it was us. We were developing on an Unreal Engine. We didn't know. We also lacked the necessary know-how to build a game based on online features.
Mm-hmm.
So like everything, like they were just like, yeah, we can do this, and they didn't understand the struggles of making a They literally were. They were working on an engine. On Microsoft's dime, they were working on an engine they never worked on before, and building a co-op game. Which, hey, everybody, it's really fucking hard to do. Like that's like playing a co-op game is like really hard. Like that's something and that's. Sony hasn't made a lot of them. That's why they bought Destiny, right? They don't freaking have a lot of co-op games. Like these games are hard to make. And Platinum Games, for them to be that way, like, hey, we are going to kind of own up to that. And Phil even talked about their relationship being a lot better now. And then Jez Gordon was saying on Twitter.
His last name is
Corden. Corden. Fucking. So change your name.
Jeff Gordon on Twitter.
Yeah. Jeff Grubb. No, they said that Phil's in Japan right now. So like they're like, yeah, Phil's in Japan for something right now. So now everybody's like, oh my god, it's gonna happen. And I'm just sitting there like, let this game go. Like IGN people in professional quote unquote interviews are freaking like asking Phil, so what about Scalebound? And do you like see Phil's face? He's like, dude, fuck you.
He's like this motherfucker.
That's a question I have. Why are they making this about Microsoft and saying, it's in Microsoft's court now. The ball's in their court. And I'm thinking to myself, this Kamiya or whatever his name is, he says he now regrets the cancellation, as if he just canceled the game himself, or Platinum decided, you know what, we're done with this, when they were fired. So why in the world are they writing articles like this as if it's being presented that it was all just, a little mistake and we want to come back? We're sorry, Microsoft, but it's in your court now, Microsoft. Do something. I don't get
they're
that,
hoping.
man.
Maybe they're hoping with enough people screaming with them that maybe Microsoft might do something. But I'm with all of you. Scalebound seemed all right, but yeah, it's dead. Move on. There's other games they can make.
Like there's just so much more. And I don't get why people even want this game. Like we already know from what's been leaked that Certain Affinity is making a Monster Hunter like game. So, like, they have a studio that has made co-op games, has had a great relationship with Microsoft, is AAA quality, massive. They have, like, 250 plus people on staff, is contracted to make a Monster Hunter World, or, like, a Monster Hunter World kind of game. Like, why do we need Scalebound? And if you look at, like, what Phil has talked about with this stuff, like, he was kind of savage about it. Like, he's like, I did some learning with Fable Legends. I did some learning about Scalebound, about being public with things before I know we've got a real, believable plan and something I felt in my hands is going to be there. Like, that is savage.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, I just want to address Ashtray Gaming. He says
Ashtray.
Microsoft holds the IP, and I know that. But my point is, with these articles, it's written as if Platinum Games are the ones that just walked away from this, and when it was Microsoft that fired them.
Yeah, that's because a lot of people on YouTube and in media, like Tim said, like a lot of people didn't care about Scalebound. And then magically, when it got canceled, you saw epic fail videos from, giant YouTubers and all this bullshit. They didn't give a fuck about Scalebound before it got canceled. And a lot of people didn't. But at the end of the day, they want to make one. They know Microsoft got a lot of money for this type of stuff, and they probably want to only make it on next gen hardware because they never probably learned what they were missing in the last generation. They just want to, have a project to work on, or they want to be bought, which is what some people are kind of making fun of. Like, hey, please buy us, save us.
But think of this from Microsoft's perspective. They fired them for a reason. Why the hell would they want them back?
Well, they probably would have bought Bungie at a reasonable price.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying that they fired them, again, with the stories that we've heard, with what Zocker just said earlier. They were just winging it with the technology. They didn't know what they were doing. And people are saying we still want Scalebound back when it, A, looked terrible, B, they didn't know how to use the tech, and they admitted to that, and C, they got fired for it all.
Yeah.
Who wants that trash
and my
back?
thing is to developing multiple games while you're working on Scalebound and then going back and asking them for more money. You'll release 8 other games during that time frame, and you can't complete the one that Microsoft's paying for 4 to 6 years. Like, that's pretty insane to me. But either way, hey, Zachary,
Phil's all about
cue these up while you're finishing that.
Yeah. So Phil's all about like basically repairing like relationships. Because during the Xbox One era, like a lot of relationships in Japan, a lot of relationships everywhere, Xbox kind of screwed those up. So Phil's been going to Japan a lot to mend those relationships, build people up, and I get that. I don't think it should be like go where the strength is, right? Like build around what that studio does in their strength, like single player action games. Like that's I think Platinum's a little overrated, like hit and miss in a lot of games. And, if they can make like whatever they want, you give them money, but like online games is hard, man. Like look at BioWare with Anthem. They fucked it up. They never did one. Like it's big. Like this is hard. Like that's the whole point. Let me get some of these. So Hardgeet put in Tales of Arise. He put a code up. Thanks, Hardgeet. Appreciate you, man. Briscoe Stun, in my opinion, Last of Us has to live up to Logan. Savage comparison. Logan's such a good movie, dude.
Yep.
Joaquin Branch, think about the optics. Xbox turning down Platinum after they publicly pleading might be bad for relationships they're looking to make there.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that, but at the end of the day, it's like if you don't want to work with somebody, it's like that. Who cares?
Look, Valorian says it's like a bad employee who promises they'll do better if you bring them back.
I swear to God, man. We got the Glitch Doctor, member for 9 months. Good evening, gents. Elden Ring is not even out, and it's already $10 cheaper than Demon Souls remake. Another proof of Sony ridiculous pricing.
Oh shit! Why you gotta be toxic about it, man?
Yeah.
That's toxic.
Space Dovakin said Kamiya wants the Xbox money.
He wants that.
Lying.
Obviously.
We got a few more.
Don Otaku, Platinum makes the best pure action games out there.
What?
It doesn't have to be Scalebound, but an Xbox Platinum game would be great. I don't know about all that.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's not just about like, hey, turning a game away or this or that. It's more the principle of the matter, and it's going to be hard for them to recover from that relationship. If they do, I'll be surprised they do it anytime soon. I would rather, and I guess you put it this way, I would rather than put that money into something else. That ship's kind of sailed.
Okay, let me just end it with this. Time is money, and Platinum Games wasted a lot of it.
Thanks.
We also got Dub, member for 9 months. If Platinum could come up with a good game plan to get the game out, take lessons learned from the first attempt, I would love Scalebound coming back. I mean, I've heard a lot of people, like, I know we make fun of it and stuff, but I've heard a lot of people wanting that game. And I'm just kind of sitting there like, who cares?
Hey guys, I heard this is
like,
the
it's just
channel
like it's
for
done,
Musty
right?
Gamers.
RG
Hey,
Viper
FYI,
says
you don't know what
Microsoft
Phil did in Japan.
should
What
buy
happens in
Platinum
Japan
Games,
stays,
fire
"Oh,
everyone,
that's
then hire new
PS5
talent
reviews.
for their
Lol, just kidding."
Japanese studio. All right, everybody get the fuck out.
Funny.
And then we got Will North. Shout out to you. He says, hey, guys, I heard this is the channel for musty gamers. He said, FYI, you don't know what Phil did in Japan. What happens in Japan stays. Oh, that's PS5 reviews. Just kidding. You remember that? That was interesting. Shout out to you, Will. And then obviously Scrub Nurse, who does say your ex was your ex for a reason. He
Put
says,
this Scalebound trash talk.
Yep. Well,
I
hey,
like that.
let us know your thoughts, guys. Scalebound, interesting tale to take. There's a lot of people that might not believe everything that we just said about it, but we promise to the best of our knowledge, and it's pretty good sources. That's pretty much what happened. They got let go. They missed deadlines. They couldn't meet performance goals. They released 8 other titles in that time frame. Still couldn't hit it. Asked for more money. They said, no, we're just going to cut our losses. And it got so bad, like Tim said, you know, they had each other blocked, leadership over there at Scalebound and obviously Phil Spencer and them on Twitter. It just wasn't good. It got pretty toxic. And since then, they've slowly stuck their leg under their bathroom stall.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man.
Tiny little head looking
Who says
at
I'm not an insider? Who says I'm wrong?
Hey, a shout out to Assassin Lupa channel member. Shout out to you, Ashtray Gaming channel member. We've also got the awesome moderators of the channel, Lethal Papa Boss Mod, obviously Xbox Obi-Wan. Got Pong Soul as a channel member. We got everyone's idol Guru. Shout out to you, buddy, as well as Tony Bryant. We got so many guys in the chat. I want to give a shout out to a few of them that power the show. You guys are amazing. Shout out to over 1,400 people already watched this live. Guys, hit the like button. Tell a buddy or two about the show. Tim Dog got 1,400 people watching on a dead ass Tuesday. We're making some good topics, buddy. I mean, what do you think about that?
We're a good show. We just keep up with what we're given. When we have big stuff, we obviously cover it. There's a lot of stuff now that's kind of all over the place. I think the Scalebound thing is kind of like silly, but you know, it is making the news, and you know, this is just usually a slow time, and you know, we've covered the freaking laws and everything that we could do with the Activision deal and the Bungie deal. That gets kind of tiring after a while. We sound like freaking lawyers out on here. But you know, yeah, it's a good time, and you know, I personally on the Scalebound thing, like you guys say, I just it's past, and you know, I think it's nice that he's come out and try to like made an approach like this. But let's be honest, it's probably because he's seen how crazy Xbox spending all this money. You know,
I'm going to say something that is not going to be taken well by some people in the chat, maybe. I don't think there's a single platinum game that I like.
Why you got to put that out there and be extra negative when no one asked? No one asked if you like those games,
I'm just saying.
You know what it is, though? There are super passionate platinum fans.
I don't like any platinum games.
I don't like them.
Their games are mid, man. Straight up mid.
Oh, shit.
These guys seem real thirsty, man. If they had seen it's egg on their face, if they had done the job that they were supposed to do, they would have been in the good graces of Microsoft with Game Pass. All of their games could have been going into Game Pass, but they played the fool, tried to funnel the money to do all their other projects, and this is the price that they pay. And I was one of the original guys that said I didn't like Scalebound, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, what do you mean you don't like it? It looks awesome." I said it just doesn't do it for me. It seems really corny, and I just it doesn't.
You
do
didn't
it
like
for
the
me.
beats on his head?
There was no hype around the game.
No.
There was certain people were unbelievably hyped, but they were a select few. Whereas, like I said, I remember E3. It wasn't even talked about. It was that they showed the demo, and nobody really cared about it. Nobody talked about it. The forums were not buzzing about it. And then all of a sudden, everyone acted like everyone was wanting this game when it was canceled. Yeah, it sucked when it got canceled, and it was a bad time for Xbox. And it was something that I think that Phil had to give back to the Meyersons of the world to say, "Hey, we're trying to cut budget here." But they honestly, like we all said, like they were putting out games that weren't even coming to Xbox on time, which was Nier Automata on time and polished as can be. And then they had this thing that was running at I knew somebody who saw it behind closed doors, and they said the thing was running at 15 frames per second.
Nier Automata.
I heard that
game
too.
That you got an achievement to look up the skirt.
It sure is, Ponzarelli.
Come on.
Hey, Hero AVO, shout out to you. He says, "What's up, guys? I just came down with the Rona. Hopefully you're feeling better, brother." He says, "Have an amazing show, amazing crew. Peace and love, fellas. Don't forget to hit that like button. Obviously, thank you very much, sir." Flapjack Juice does say that Russia is lacking the... Wait a second. Russia is hacking the super chats. Okay. It's on fire. Yeah, okay. I didn't know what you were getting at there. It took me a second. Hack it. And then we've got Christopher, if I can scroll this, he says, "Thoughts on Crossfire X?" We'll probably get to that, sir. Thank you very much. Dark CMF says, "Not sure if he's lurking, but happy birthday to Gaz." Everybody tell Gaz happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Gaz.
And then Don Otaku says, "Fonz, we know you have bad taste."
Yes, it's
Along with Brian Harris.
I'm still waiting for you to name one game in the chat that is good. Don't like it.
I mean,
one game that's
people,
good.
people are saying Bayonetta 2, Nier Automata, and Vanquish.
Trash, in my opinion.
Yeah,
but you know what? I respect opinions. If you like it, cool.
He said, stop the capping. It's Bayonetta 2 and Nier Automata, skirt simulator, lifter simulator. Brian Harris, shout out to you as well, buddy.
If you guys can follow those stories of Bayonetta 2 and all those, I don't know, if you guys could follow the story, then all the power to you. That stuff's all over the place.
Anyway, let's not shitting on Platinum, the show, okay? It's just, hey, Scalebound, it is what it is. And, it's like a crazy ex that stole your dog, all right? There's personal feelings there. It's not easy to get over, okay, bitch? You're going to go and move forward now. We're going to go ahead and talk about Xbox fans are selling their damn Xboxes because Sony bought Bungie. I don't know if you guys saw this. I had it in my last video.
Real? Like, who the hell said this?
It was
journal, man.
No, it was here's the thing, though, D. It was the source was a goddamn solitaire game.
Oh my god.
I fucking love it.
These guys are idiots.
Look, I made a video about this because guys are using this as a weapon on Twitter, right? Like, the Destiny thing isn't very important. And it turns out the source is a damn solitaire game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's literally the link to the source brings up a solitaire playing website.
Retarded, man. Just for
the opinions of D-Batch do not represent RDX podcast. Anyway,
just for the damn click.
Xbox, the source is it's out there, man. When I clicked it, I laughed. I just had no idea. I didn't know that it wasn't actually a real source, and I clicked on it. So it was kind of insane. I did not get an achievement.
See, dealer, did you get a trophy?
That's how you get STDs in your computer. You clicked on it, and then you're like, "What happened?"
It already had all of them. It can't really catch the other one. I mean, it's already got them, so it's well prepared.
It's actually it's the host of all the STDs the other computers get.
Yeah, it's out there. It's just doing God's work. State of Decay 2, by the way, is getting a pretty big upgrade. One of the next upgrades is set to substantially improve graphics on the title. Tim Dog, I know what you're thinking. This is your favorite game of all time, and you're jumping in day one.
No, I mean, they have had previously texture packs, and they've improved the graphics from when it first came out. I would say by a large amount, and it's going to be fun to see what they're doing. They haven't stopped working on this game, and I think it's a testament to the game and to the studio. They're hard workers. I know that they're in the process of gonna get State of Decay 3, which is really, it's gonna be a bigger title for them. It's gonna be Unreal Engine 5 title.
Ooh, should be sick.
Yeah, I think it's a ways away, but this one will be interesting. I think that everyone should just reboot it and take a look at see what they did, because I'm interested in seeing it.
That's what gets me excited for Unreal Engine 5, Tim. See how you just said there? Oh, it looks like it's a far off. That's the thing with Unreal Engine 5. Their development time is cut down drastically with all the tools that they're afforded. Yeah. So might be a little bit sooner than we think.
Yeah, and
they showed the world. They showed the environments on Twitter, I believe, and kind of showed what it is now to what the update's going to be. And there's a lot more foliage. The draw distance looks better. There's a lot of updates on it that looks really good. Like, the game looks really nice.
You know what that tells me?
The updated one
is that it's going to be around for a little bit more.
Yep, that's what it tells me too. I think State of Decay 3 or whatever the hell State of Decay, I think that's a long way off, people. I think because they just opened that animation studio, they just they're doing a lot of stuff, and I think that they realize how far they want to go with the game ambition wise, and they need a lot more time.
They're probably going to hire too. They probably have to hire a lot more people.
Yeah, they've doubled in size already, if not more.
Yeah, it's not development hell, though, unlike what some on Twitter say. It's just it takes time to kind of build out a new vision, right?
Yes.
What do you think? 2 or 3 years?
Three.
Well, you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, me and Dealer have talked about this. When you have the studio acumen that Xbox has now, you can say, "Hey, ever wild in this game. You know what? Get your shit together." And you're gonna have a lot of time, and most of the time, when you give good developers a lot of time, they can and will deliver. And I just like I feel really good about where Xbox Studios is right now. And obviously, if they can get this deal nailed down, which I'm hearing is looking good, it's gonna be, they're gonna be the like they're gonna be it's gonna be pretty amazing what's coming to Game Pass and how many games you're gonna play.
I'm looking forward to it.
Speaking of Game Pass, gotta ask you guys this because I didn't see it on the topics here. I don't see anybody on the internet talking about it. Why is nobody talking about Crossfire that's coming in a couple of days?
Who is like making that mute sound
No.
with their microphone over and over? Which one of y'all is it?
I mean,
It's Fork
I
Boy.
can tell. I can
No,
tell
it's
you.
not me.
I can tell you one thing about what you just said. That's solely on the developer. I have to say they've been really, really tight with their footage, and they didn't want anybody talking about the game. Anything that was published, it had to be, strictly. You couldn't show certain things, and so I have to blame the developer on this. I kind of feel like they're going into this a little stealthy for a reason. And I think the game's going to be okay, but I just kind of feel like they're doing this for a reason, and that's solely on the developer.
And you're right. You're right. The previews we've heard about haven't been great about Crossfire. We're just trying to tell you guys what we've heard. We're not trying to be negative about the game. The last thing we want is another fucking game that's used as a weapon against, what Microsoft's trying to do. But, always call a spade a spade. The previews apparently haven't been good for Crossfire. They're bringing in a part of the single player, right, in the Game Pass or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're giving you there's two campaigns or something like that, or three, or there's multiple campaigns. They're giving you one portion of the campaign, probably 2-hour gameplay.
So the campaign, you basically cut in half, Game Pass, and they'll probably split that up and release that. A year later, they'll release the second half probably. But right now, guys, I talked to some people and they had bought it, and, I would just encourage you to try the first half on Game Pass. And either way, they're getting paid. That's why it's in Game Pass. They like that amount, and they put it in there for a reason. So
why is it only a half a game?
They're giving you basically the first half of the campaign in Game Pass. I don't know. Maybe is the second half ready, Tim? Is it going to be out day one?
Oh,
I think it is ready day one. I just feel, I think it's day one. We're just getting a portion of it on Game Pass, and I said, I've heard not so glowing things about it, and I've also heard that they, this media timeout or whatever you want, that's not on Microsoft. That's on them.
Mm-hmm.
They've been very adamant about, like, you could just show this gameplay and that's all we want you to show, and don't say anything about it. And then, hey, we'll give you an ad, or you could do an ad. And I know that from certain content creators.
They've been offering people in this community to do a dedicated video.
Weird though, but it was only dedicated on what they say, and you can't you can't interject or show the game or stuff. When that shit happens, and when they're acting cagey like that, no, it's for a reason. They probably don't 100% feel that the game is that great.
Yeah.
It's probably okay, and it might, some people might like it, but don't go in there.
I'm predicting 5 and 6s for it.
Don't go in there thinking you're gonna get like a
I mean, multiple people from IGN, people that have played the game, have said it's uninspiring. That they're just kind of like, it's just there, yet it's so like meh. So I'm gonna check it out in Game Pass. I think we all are. I think everybody here is, and if it's decent, then hey, awesome. Like, our bad. But at the end of the day, there's no hype around it. Not many people are talking about it, and people that are talking about it aren't that excited about it.
We're just kind of bracing the chat for those that care to listen to it. Hey, there you go. Danny Passion says
someone's sitting there hoping it's Game of the Year.
Yeah, I don't know.
My question is this game fractured? Is it broken up into several parts, or?
I don't know. Fonz, you want to go over there and beat him with a stick if it is?
Okay, because I don't like the thought of, say this is a whole game and they put just a portion of it in Game Pass. I don't like that, and I don't want that to become a trend.
Well, there's no evidence to suggest that it will become a trend.
I understand that, but I'm not going to gloss over that as a consumer and say, you know what, that's fine, whatever, it's one game, because that can turn into 2, 3, 10, 20.
That's called episodic.
But the thing is like, if it is an episodic game, then I get it, but
Yeah, I don't know personally.
This is why Fonz
how about
hates
these
shows.
guys come out and explain their damn game? It's coming out in 2
Yeah,
days.
they're not saying anything about it. It's been 2 weeks, chat. Let us know what you think about that. Danny Passion says movies audiences are different than video game audiences. That's why Sony was the hit. Bungie, Bungie breakdown is very easy. Okay, I know. I get what you're saying, Danny. Definitely the audiences for the TV show and that fucking sound is still happening in the background. Like,
I hear it.
I don't know who that is, but the movie audiences and video game audiences can be different. But we're talking about from the perspective of people that play the game or play video games in general. By the way, Koi Cadaver. By the way, shout out to you. He says it's a trap. And then we've also got new member Koi Cadaver. Big shout out to you, Koi. Splendiferous. I talked to him in a party recently, and he was doing some weird things.
Boot you out like they boot me out?
No, he didn't boot me out. He's just doing some weirder things. I wish he would have. But he says solitaire kicks ass. Is dealer jealous of Source? Yeah, I mean, it's a very entertaining Source, man. Lord Starkiller, shout out to you, buddy. He says, I gotta love solitaire. Obviously. Hargeet, by the way, he says, according to solitaire, PS5s have stopped selling in UK after Microsoft acquired ABK. Yeah. That's I gotta find out what that is. It could be someone doing it on accident. But Zach, you got a few more of these?
We got Chinook guy. He says instead of Scalebound, how about bring back Lost Odyssey or Jet Set Radio?
Oh shit!
Ooh, Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio was cool, man. I remember that. That's a deep cut. Danny Passion official says, read my previous super if you can. I don't have that one. Go ahead.
No, I got it. I already read it.
Oh, I don't know what his previous one was.
Yeah, I read.
That's all I have. That's all. Oh, okay. Then we got Hero. He says, Fonz, I understand where you come from. Scalebound may have been the hit Xbox needed in a JRPG. If you think about it, it is a great game for Game Pass.
Ooh. But what if it's episodic, Fonz?
No, it's not about being episodic. The thing is, if this is a 3 parts, apparently that's what people are saying. I get it. But if it's like a main story, I don't know. If this is all available on day one, I still don't like only having part of the game. If it's all available day one, I don't.
If you're gonna do episodic for video games, you gotta have a similar structure to how they do it on TVs, where like the end of season 1, it's a definitive ending with a tease for the next season or the next level. Something like that is acceptable, but leaving it on an absolute cliffhanger and you gotta wait, 6 months to play. I don't think that works for video games.
Yeah, I don't know.
See, I'm more worried that there's barely anything out there. I mean, someone already said the fact that it comes out in 2 days and we don't know much about it. To me, that screams something's wrong with it.
Yeah,
but
for real.
Instead of Scalebound, how about we bring Lost Planet back?
Or we could just leave them both in a dumpster.
Dude, Lost Planet sounds sick. I want Lost Planet.
Any game that allows you to be shit out by a monster needs to be remade, okay?
Fire Shadow, by the way, says completely off topic. Got to pay money to see Phil suplex Bobby Kotick out of the Activision building. That's a lot of us, man. We all had our quarrels with old Bobby before the weird shit. And shout out to Danny Passion, new channel member. Shout out to you, brother. Thanks for supporting the show, man. Obviously, we have more topics.
Oh yeah,
some good ones too. Take-Two. I don't know if you guys saw this. Take-Two, we're talking about the Activision Microsoft acquisition, and they say that it will result in 2 powerful leading entertainment companies, with Take-Two being one of them. Did you see this at all, Zalker?
Shots fired.
Okay.
I assume that means no.
I didn't see this at all, no.
Yeah,
I didn't see it either.
I think it's a big statement, though. It's pretty much saying, we ain't going up for sale anytime soon, man. So you can throw all those rumors to bed right now after that statement, man. And I gotta agree, because Grand Theft Auto, man, that's a machine, man. And they just announced last week that it's coming back. Like, oh my gosh, man. So
what they announced last week, D-Batch? Share with the class.
That they're making Grand Theft Auto 6, that it's heavy in development.
Ooh.
And they'll share more with us later this year. And the internet went like freaking nuts. GTA.
I feel like that was known. Like, who the hell was surprised by that?
Yeah, who was surprised by that?
I don't think anybody's surprised, but it's the first official acknowledgement of it.
So it's a big deal. That means that we're going to start to see stuff sooner. They wouldn't open up their mouths about it. So
that's true. Because don't you remember when they talked about Grand Theft Auto 5, they released a trailer like 6 months later or a few months later.
So
I have
you're
to
saying
say,
they're going to
this
release a
whole
trailer soon,
acquisition-
Fonz?
They may. I mean, the only
Oh,
time
no,
they've
they're
ever
on-
talked about stuff is
Yeah.
usually like right before they release something,
Yeah.
you know.
Based on their track record, we're gonna definitely see something from GTA 6 this year, and the internet's gonna go insane. And when we go back and look at GTA, like the progression that each game has made over the next, and now we got these next generation machines. Oh man, this next one should be awesome.
I think it's going to be like 2024 or 2025 before we see this game or like anything, because like it's going to take a long time for it to come out. And also like the whole people about like buying stuff and Take-Two's next, like I look at like companies that are quiet, like Take-Two, or you know, they haven't been quiet. They bought Zynga. Like they're going all out. Like they're talking games, they're bringing shit out, they're buying people. Same with Ubisoft. Like they're going out on Xbox platform with Ubisoft Plus, talking about next games and development, getting more studios. Like they're not quiet. It's the studios like Activision Blizzard was quiet for months,
Right.
if not a year, before anything was being bought. I think WB, everybody should be looking at WB, because not only are they delaying shit, they're not talking about anything. Like they're just sitting there, and so that's like the quiet thing. It's the quiet before the storm. So I don't think everybody should temper expectation on Ubisoft, temper expectation on Take-Two, and who cares? I might pull a special Nick and be wrong, and you know, whatever.
I don't think it's 3 years off though. For them to announce it like this, I doubt that it's 3 years off. And they did say that it's deep into development. They didn't say it just started or early development. They said it's deep into development. So I think we would realistically see something this year, and perhaps it would come out next year. I don't think 3 years.
That's right.
You know what I find funny though? I remember that when Xbox started to get studios, and people would say, Xbox got no games. Who cares about studios? You know, and I used to say, well, studios make games. So obviously now when they got the idea when Insomniac got purchased by Sony, they were like, oh yeah, look at this. And then the same people were always making fun of Xbox fans with these like potential deals like Xbox and you know, Take-Two or Xbox and Activision, like these, like, you know, because a lot of Xbox fans have been, you know, asking for acquisitions. And ever since the Xbox got, you know, Activision announced, you totally see the other side. Sony guys doing the same exact things that Xbox guys were doing. Now they have the hieroglyphics of Sony buying EA, and they have all their studios put up and all their IPs. So it's just funny how things have just like totally did a 360.
You're not allowed to be excited for developers, Tim Dog.
Remember,
did you guys see that graph of all the companies? Because a lot of people were saying that, you know, Microsoft's going to have a monopoly, but when you look at that graph, they're like such a small piece of the pie. Did you guys see that one?
Oh yeah, they're
Yeah, I
definitely
saw
not
that.
a monopoly.
Yeah, not even close.
I always win that game.
we don't even have to go down that rabbit hole. I think that Satya's comments was basically, he was like,
he's confident.
Yeah, super confident. And I have news for you. They have till what, the 15th? They have to the 15th to, I guess, query or
like put a wrench in it to go into further investigation with the DOJ.
Right, which is expected, but we're getting pretty close down there. You know, there still has not been a thing put up. So.
And so, by the way, people, I was reading about it. People think that this deal is not going to be done until June 2023. Like that's what people are saying. But apparently, if you read it, it says that the deal won't be done until the next fiscal year, which is technically from June 30th, 2020 to June 2023. So it could be done this year, or it could be done beginning of next year.
If they don't object it and it goes
be quick.
Then, well, it'll be quick. They still have to go through Europe and they still have to go through all that stuff. But if they really don't get any kind of pushback, I'd be surprised, but that'd be, you know, pretty noteworthy news. And like I said, they have about like 7 more days or 8 more days to formally put you know, up in whatever you want to call it, an injunction or whatever they do,
like a freeze or a hold, just to review.
Yeah, it's a secondary review.
I think the only thing that could have stopped it was, you know, this monopoly argument and whatnot. But once again, once you look at all the companies and the market, how it exists, it's a non-issue. So I really don't see anything stopping this deal apart from the parties involved.
Well,
I think
Satya brought it up very well. He didn't say like, "Oh, this is going to happen," or he talked about it being fragmented. Like he's talking about like they might be looking at it like just in a console base, just in PC base, just in mobile base, to cloud.
I actually want
right?
to go more in
like all of
depth
it.
on that
Like,
actually here in a second. But just let me give a shout out to the chat watching, guys. Everybody watching, hit the like button if you haven't. Tell a buddy or two about the show. We do appreciate you, RDX, every single week here on this channel. We've also got a few chats, and I want to go into the future of Xbox, Phil Spencer, his big award, and all that good stuff as well. So be ready on that stuff. But Hero, shout out to you, buddy. He does say, who was surprised by that they ignored hashtag save Red Dead Online? What?
he's talking about Rockstar ignoring Red Dead Online.
They're just not updating it anymore?
They just haven't
Yeah,
done a lot to it at all. They haven't updated it at all.
Because they saw that people weren't jumping on it like Grand Theft Auto. They're tired of the same crap.
No, it just it has a lot of people on it. That's the
Not
freaking
anywhere
thing.
near Grand Theft Auto though.
No,
No,
not even
no.
close. And that's what they want.
Yeah, but with Grand Theft Auto, you can do private worlds, so it's just you and your friends. Red Dead Redemption, you can't, so you're stuck to playing with anybody and everybody.
You're getting
That's the
sniped by a
advantage.
dude like on a roof. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the advantage of Grand Theft Auto. I can go play with me, dealer, and tell Zocker that he can't play with us, and then so
I don't
be
want
it.
to play with
Where-
you, Fork, anyways.
Yeah, that's what you said last night in the closet. But I mean,
What
you,
the fuck?
Oh.
Will you give us in the
you go on
closet?
Yeah, can you give us
Well,
a warning?
the dumpster was full. But I mean, it comes down to you go on Red Dead Redemption, you got to play with griefers, people that are solely there just to make your life a living hell, and people don't want that. So that's why people aren't there, and they don't update it. I mean, I know 4 people that used to play it a bunch. They don't play it anymore because of that. They don't update it. They don't do anything to it. All they want you to do is buy their microtransactions.
Yep. And that's why, because they didn't have the player base there, and they realized, oh, this isn't going to be a hit like GTA Online, and we're just not going to put the manpower there. We're going to focus on the next GTA Online, which you'll see a bigger focus and infusion with online with Grand Theft Auto. They're going to try to turn it into a bigger cash cow than this time, which is going to be hard to do, but they're going to do it, and they're going to probably compromise on their core game loop to do it. They're going to make it they're going to make it a connected online world in some way, probably, to try to maintain that or exceed that. So we will see. Grand Theft Auto 6 and all that stuff. Chinook Guy, by the way, does say Activision owned their own version of GTA and Red Dead. Should Xbox lean into that? He's talking about true crimes and gun. Should they lean into that, Fonzarelli? They've got true crimes and gun.
Should they lean into that?
Yeah, they got their own version of Red Dead and GTA, apparently.
Really? I don't agree. Okay.
You're toxic.
I don't think anybody's going to be.
It's their own version of Red. Gun it was decent. Don't get me wrong. It was.
He's saying they could be.
I think just don't chase trends. Don't chase another game. Like they tried doing that with the MOBA with fucking Fable. They tried doing.
We saw what happened with Clippy
I
and
have
Lawbreakers.
That goes back to what you've been saying. I mean, honestly, this is like what we've been saying, or Zocker especially, about remasters and stuff. No, it's not a remaster, but you don't don't chase a trend. Go build a whole totally
what
different
does Zocker
IP.
have to do with that, a remaster?
Remember
like how I said about
how you don't want Dead Space remaster, but you want a StarCraft remaster?
I didn't say it was StarCraft remaster.
Yeah,
I don't want a whole StarCraft.
Let's hold that.
One thing I've heard, and people who've put up the Todd Howard Fallout 76 50 Metacritic score and saying, this is what you get. Those people are going to be really in for it. I'm hearing Starfield is absolutely insane.
It's insane.
I cannot wait.
It's like it's as big as we've been making it out.
Talking about the scope of it, like the ability to travel.
Just heard it's insane.
Give us all the details, Tim.
I just heard the people who know, who've probably seen the game or whatever, that it's really impressive. Like it's not footage. It's not that's for E3. They're not going to just show it on a random March 1st. They're going to show it at E3.
That's why you steal it, Tim.
And no, I haven't seen it. All I know is that there's super confidence around that IP, and they must be doing something special there.
So what you're saying is it's getting delayed.
Speculating.
No, not getting delayed.
Don't put that on Tim.
It's not getting delayed. It's not going to put it this way. People who've said it's going to be Fallout 76 and made fun of it, they're going to have a carton of eggs on their face.
A whole carton.
Whole carton.
Maybe maybe a whole. What is it? When they put it on the wood panel, a crate, not a crate, not a crate of eggs.
Pallet?
A pallet of
a
eggs.
Whole pallet.
Each and every one of the person that said that they're going to just drown in it.
Well, I got a
around.
crazy fact here. Splendifer says you can change underwear color in GTA. # solitaire. We've also got Yodani, who does say, I pay a subscription to Xbox to get Phil and Sarah Bond to clothesline. Hideki, that's his name, Hideki Kamiya, and Jim Ryan. Yes, choke slam them both. You're being vicious right now. All right, Yodani, you're being savage. All right.
I just have to say that I really like hearing that about Starfield, Tim. You're really exciting.
I think you should have a lot of confidence in it.
Oh,
put it that way.
Can't wait.
Bonds, what if the first part comes out on Game Pass though?
Oh hell no!
Hell no.
I'm not going to put that juju out there. I'm not gonna
Don't do that.
Oh,
Don't do that.
shit.
I was about to say, what if it's a cyberpunk kind of thing?
Here's the thing. I was just speaking on the principle of just putting part of a game on Game Pass being wrong. Okay, thank God I don't like Remedy games to begin with, but that's besides the point.
God, what do you like, Bonds? Jeez.
You have a very long list of games you don't like. Do you just
And
play
I have
Super
a long
Mario
list
Brothers?
of games that I do love. Yeah. So.
Well, I'd ask you about them, but we'd be here for 37
His
seconds.
opinion.
No. I like most Bethesda games. Love them. I love.
You love
most,
Fallout 76
exclusive Sony games. Love them.
Bonds loves a lot of games, Chad.
I just don't play a lot of those games that aren't worth my time, like Remedy games. Period. Boring.
Yeah, Remedy.
They're just boring to me. That's all.
I mean, I love Remedy.
It's my opinion. A lot of other people love them, and I respect it. Like, I'm not going to say you're wrong, but I don't like their games. They're boring to me.
You're
like,
toxic.
Most of their games are like, you basically got to pick up something and read about the story, and it just gets boring. Like, I don't want.
So it's a reading issue, not a game issue.
No, and the gameplay sucked too for me. Like, I didn't like. I didn't like Control. I didn't like Quantum Break.
All right. Well, I want to hear about stuff you do like next time we come to you. Papa, shout out to Papa Baco 72.
Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal is amazing. LB1 didn't like Doom Eternal because they're jumping though. Shout out to Papa Baco 72. I talked to him on Xbox not long ago, man. Good guy. New channel member as well as Toolman 55. Shout out to you guys. And we've also got a super chat here from Foreskin of Exodia. Interesting name. He says, love you guys. What dead franchise would you guys want to see Xbox revive from Activision Blizzard? Well, Foreskin of Exodia.
Great question.
Great question.
I mean, for me, and this is not a personal thing, I just think it's something that the community needs, and I think it's something that would be very good for Xbox and people, is Guitar Hero 2. I think is something that would be really awesome. I remember being, with my friends and seeing them play. I sucked at it, so I wish I could be good at it. Maybe I'll give it a try too. But I just remember how big it was and how much fun they had playing it, like every weekend for like a year, literally. So I think that's a strong IP. And True Crime for me, if they could, make something where it doesn't have to be GTA, but just like in that world.
Well, Tim Dog, is that all? Of everything they own, is that all? Are you sure you wouldn't?
They have so much.
You wouldn't want what's something else?
Bring back Skylanders, man.
Skylanders.
If you look at their thing, they have really awesome IP, and that's why the deal is so good, in my opinion. And that's why I say even if they had to make COD multi-plat, it's not the end of the world. You have so many IPs there that you can leverage. For me though, if I really had to pick one for myself, it'd be True Crime. True Crime was awesome. I remember that game. I was playing it at 720p when 720p was the 4K. You know what I mean? It was the only 720p game.
Don't say that, Tim Dog.
No, it really was. It was at that time TVs were 480p, and then there was TVs that started to transition into 720p. And that was maybe one of like two games that were made rendering at that resolution.
Well, Well, I want to hear more about, and again, shout out to everybody watches, guys. Hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show. We got some good topics still to come. Ryse 2, there's a new rumor that this is in development right now. Remember, Crytek owned this IP. Zauker, have you heard anything about this at all? And when does your video on it come out?
It comes out in 35 seconds.
Okay.
No, I mean, I've heard about this rumor before. This has been going around, I think, since last April.
It's been going around for 5-6 years.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was going around since
Ryse 2 in development?
April.
This rumor stemmed back to like a couple years after the first one.
He's right though. It's really been spurned by in April.
You're saying another rumor, yeah.
Yeah, well, this is the rumor
last April.
Yeah.
So since last April, this has been going around, and I remember we were like talking about before like 2019 or something. I talked to somebody that was like, "I'm hearing Ryse 2 is coming back, and like blah blah blah, and it might be multi-plat." And I told the guy, I was like, "All right, buddy, thanks." Like I didn't believe him. I was like, "Whatever." And you know, a lot of the stuff and the rumors came out like the year later that hey, this is being in development, and now Crytek announcing their new engine that they've optimized and brought out, and people are talking about that, and then they're going to use apparently Ryse 2 as like a graphical showpiece to what their engine can do. And this is like a franchise that I've told you, like this is one of my favorite ones from last generation. I wanted this to come out. I think it'll go multi-plat, like this is what the rumor is. So I don't know if Xbox is even attached to it, but I know that world has a lot of pottle. So we'll see.
The story was good, man, in the first one. Like
the story was.
It was weird seeing such a good story from Crytek. I'll be honest. Like it was going to be Ryse. It was good.
Amazing.
See, Fonz liked Ryse.
The graphics are amazing.
What about the story, Fonz?
Yeah, it's
I feel like there's a button here somewhere.
I look. If there was a Ryse 2, that's good news because they can just build upon what they had. Of course, they desperately need to add more mechanics into there because I thought it was a bit rudimentary.
What'd you like, Fonz?
But the graphics, the story, it was decent. The gameplay's okay, but again, they need to improve upon that.
Like if you're gonna steal Batman Combat, just steal it. Like don't switch the buttons and shit.
Or
the
even
thing about the game was like
it
was
something.
Like the game to me was like every single level was kind of like a big set piece, right? Like you had a siege, you had this with the boats, and you're sieging it. Like every moment to moment was like action set pieces. That's what I enjoyed about the game. It was just the scale was so big. That's what made it what it was, right? That's when you're like, wow, this is kind of cool. Yes, it was very linear. Yes, the combat was easy to get like a hold of, and I think that was some of its appeal. But overall, I think that they can really do a lot with this game, expand on it, and make it into something, pretty decent. Like that whole thing, like you started going into like mythology at the end, right? Where the guy's getting stabbed multiple times and keeps going. Like you start going down that route. Like it's endless. Roman mythology, all those kind of things. It's like that's right. Like that's kind of what Assassin's Creed did.
Exactly.
They went down that
what
route.
everyone was talking about.
They do need to improve on that game.
And with the new graphic engines
combat.
that we have, the new graphical engines that we have for Ryse 2 with Unreal Engine 5, holy smokes. The graphics were already amazing in the first version, much less the second version. Just like
this is Crytek's engine. This is Crytek.
I'm sorry, Crytek. I'm sorry. I lost my thought there. Yeah. Anyways, the Crytek engine, you guys know I'm a big fan of that engine anyways. But anyways, it would look better than the first one, obviously. The first one looked amazing. All you got to do is basically fix the combat and the repetition of some of the missions and the characters. and I think you would have a hit because a lot of Xbox guys, they've always wanted a sequel to this game. And if freaking Knack can get a sequel, I think Ryse deserves a sequel.
I think they should keep the army of quintuplets you fight, though. Those
my gosh.
Just keep those. Of everything.
Yeah, they had a problem with that.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Well, so did Cyberpunk.
One of the problems with that game when it came out, you know what was the most thing talked about? This was a sad truth.
The 900p or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 900p, and I was an underpowered piece of shit. Xbox.
Even though it looked better and it won graphics of the year.
Even though it was
Killzone.
the best looking game that was easily on the market at the time. Killzone would maybe, Killzone. They all said it was 1080p. Meanwhile, it was
the multiplayer was 1080p, 800.
Just there's so much bullshit that went on, but yeah, it was one of those games that fell under that. And listen, I felt like the game was easily a solid 8. The Metacritic, I think, was 64. or 61.
It was a 60, yeah.
Yeah, it really took a hit, but it's an easy, smart decision for Crytek to make the game and just make it similar, just linear and just unbelievably graphics and incredibly detailed, and make it multi-plat. I think that they're not gonna strike any exclusive deals. I think it's gonna be multi-plat. I think it will sell well.
So sad that it was affected by the resolution. That game was heavily, it really influenced the sales of it and people's opinion on it, as well as Quantum Break. I remember everyone was excited for Quantum Break, and then when they found out the resolution, and this was when we were really new to like this kind of upscaling technology and stuff, so people were really turned off from that, and that really hurt that game as well.
Yeah,
it was also made by Remedy. So.
Well, hey, what's not made what's not made by Remedy is Phil Spencer getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. This is, I said, calm down. It's not the medical field now. Good job, Phil. But damn, how many awards you need? No, seriously though, it's kind of cool, right? I mean, Tim, how much money did Xbox bribe the company that's doing this?
Oh, it was a nice thing.
Be honest.
50 million. No,
perfect.
It was a good thing, and it was nice, and like you said, it's not like he's a doctor or anything, but it was a nice week, I think, for Phil. He had a lot of industry recognition. I think he saw a lot of, even the PlayStation guys. I'll give them a shout out. Herman Hurst.
The executives.
Yoshida, they all gave him props. I mean, I think Phil is he's definitely a big deal in gaming right now, and
you think?
But there was a time when Phil was, I was just saying, he's a nice guy, he's a gamer, but
Kumbaya Phil, remember that?
Yeah, he's transcended into a pretty major figure, and that's just this is just a recognition. He also hit 1 million on Twitter, which I mean,
he's botting.
He's botting. No, but just overall, he's getting his recognition that he deserves.
Yeah, and I'm sure those Sony guys in the comments of that were like still saying PlayStation's better.
I just want to add that it's so well deserving because of just, I mean, what he's done with Xbox alone in the time that he's taken over. It's really impressive what he's done there. And think about this, guys. Think about back in 2017, even. Like, we were so down on Xbox and so many things. Even 2018's E3 dealer, you and I were just so down on Xbox.
2019's.
And then all of a sudden, Phil, he just pulls it off, man. He does a 180 with Xbox. And he's really,
and there's a difference between being down on Xbox and saying, "Hey, that E3 wasn't good compared to the other ones."
Yeah,
we got to be honest.
We were really down. I mean, we were confused on what they were doing, their game plan. We didn't understand what was going on
because they didn't know.
Phil had the master plan. He knew what he was going to do. And bottom line is this: Phil, what I respect about the man the most is the fact that he's a real gamer. I see him. I see him on my friends list play every night.
How many nights is Jim Ryan gaming?
Probably 0. But I'm just saying, it's one of those things where, to me, it's like, you can't fake that. You can't fake that. That man plays games, and so he's got his finger on the pulse of the gamer, in my opinion, and I just respect the hell out of that. I do.
Yeah, and to a big shout out to the Microsoft team as well. In the chat says, Phil is leading. He's the head of the snake, but all the employees over there at Microsoft make it go. The vision, all the plans come together, and all this stuff just kind of works. And it's kind of cool because it happened under his leadership. So, good job, Phil. We're happy you got the award and hitting 1 million followers on Twitter. It's kind of insane, man. Zalker Satya was talking about the future of Xbox, the Activision acquisition, and a lot of the things that they're basically responding to some of these guys say Monopoly and all this stuff. Can you give us the lowdown on this real quick?
Yeah. We were touching on it earlier. He brought up about like how they're not even close to being a monopoly. Like they're still in third place even after the acquisition. He brought up how gaming is so fragmented that there's so many players in there because he's like, I know people think about more like console or PC or whatever. He's like, but you got to bring up mobile. You're gonna bring up a lot of stuff that they're not even a part of. Like they don't have anything in mobile, right? Nothing until they got King. So all these little things that people are not putting together, there's just like Monopoly, and it's like, no, they're not even close to doing that. Like I think Embracer Group has like 80 something studios. Like they have like insane amounts of people. Like Xbox is not even close to that. And then if you look at profits, Sony is ahead of them by like tens of billion, like 15 billion, like in revenue each year. So they're not worried about that at all. And to me, I'm looking at this going like, he's trying to tell you like, one, they're not even close to being a monopoly, and that's not going to stop them from buying more. No. Like that's and then Jim Ryan, who technically should be worried about that, right? Is like, we're going to buy more. Like he's like him.
You're saying they're closer to being the market leader than Microsoft are, and they're still buying more, and there's no outroar.
They're still buying, yeah. Well, they are the market leader. They're number one, and then it's Tencent, and then like Tencent's buying even more portions of studios. They're not even buying studios. Like that's the fucking annoying thing is they're just buying like portions of it.
Because they're gonna own everything one day. They're gonna slowly just symbiote this shit. Hey, shout out to Delilah HD in the chat, by the way. She says there's more to come, folks. It's gonna be good. In that exact voice.
Yeah, so that's the stuff that we're talking about. That's what Satya was talking about. And even Phil, and Phil was actually kind of honest about it. He was like, this is actually a lot of pressure. He's like, I've never done anything like this. Taking on such a big publisher, taking on Bethesda, taking on Activision.
Nobody has.
He's like, nobody. Yeah, he's like, we're going to be learning from this and doing our best. And he said it is daunting, and that's why people are like, well, when Phil gets him, he's going to leave. It's like, no, now he has to set that foundation. Like this is a multi-year like move, like 10 years. Like they're gonna have to build this shit out. So and keep a foundation where Xbox and Microsoft can keep going. And I think they're gonna buy more this year because we're talking about the money that people are gonna lose, or Microsoft and Sony and all these companies are gonna get taxed or whatever on. Like I think more's coming, and I think this year is gonna be a lot of change in the gaming world. And it's about tech too. It's not just gaming. They're talking about like metaverse bullshit, and they're talking about the technology that gaming has. Like tech people are helping a lot. Like if you just saw with Unreal Engine with The Mandalorian, they're doing a lot of like acting and post like
they're spreading the
right
utilization of the technology. Too bad they didn't help this guy that just jumped off this tower in this gameplay.
That's me after playing this game for 20 hours.
Oh my god! Hey, Fork Boy, what are your thoughts on this, man? This is our final topic, but I wanted to, you ain't said much. I know you're chewing on your toenails and shit in the background, but what are your thoughts on everything they're talking about with the future Activision, the place that you see Microsoft going?
Honestly, I'm excited because I'm kind of hoping World of Warcraft comes to Xbox very desperately. But overall,
that's correct. Or was.
Yeah, I mean, they could use the numbers. That's why I'm saying it coming to Xbox would help since they really don't have an MMO. But I mean, overall, they're not a monopoly. Like has been mentioned, there's mobile, and people don't realize how much games there are in mobile. And PlayStation has studios. Embracer. Overall, I'm excited. It's a step, and we get more games, and overall, it helps everyone. I mean, Bobby is gone. That's the greatest thing. It's already said that once the ink dries, he's leaving. Yeah, he gets paid when he leaves, but who cares? He's out. It can be a better environment for everybody that works there, and we can get better games, and we can go from there. And Call of Duty is going to be multi-plat. Overall, it's a win for gamers. I mean, some people try to crap on it with the whole, Xbox is killing everything. No, they're making everything better. So
killing everything, yeah. I think they saved Activision from themselves, honestly. What were they? They were in the fucking dumpster, like, before this happened. And nobody had an answer for anything. They had nothing but negative PR. They weren't announcing any games. They were basically canceling games, like, RTS games. Bobby, I think he's a villain out of a James Bond movie. Somebody needs to snipe his briefcase with all that parachute money out of his hand as he flies off, because I don't think he deserves anything. And I think it's good they're replacing him as well, man.
And Phil was talking about that too, about making it.
He said, "Fuck Bobby." Shit, I don't even like that motherfucker.
He's like, we're gonna make this a better environment and also make it easier for because there's unions forming in Activision, and he's like, yeah, that's fine if they want to do that. Like he's like, we want our creators and our employees to be happy. Like we want them to feel empowered and like feel like they can do what they want, including making the games that they want. Like that's like quintessential quotes that like people are just like, oh, like.
But they're gonna lock them down and rob them of their freedom.
I mean, that's the best thing that, I don't know, in my opinion, you guys are more in the industry than anything else, but to me, it's like, okay, no company has come out and said, hey, yeah, signing with Microsoft was a horrible thing. No, it's like, hey, dealer, you want to make this game? Go ahead. Here's money. Do what you want that makes you happy and makes the best game possible. Because if you're happy and you make good games, that's better for us. It's better for everyone.
Facts.
Will, obviously, if you heard anything about Bobby, you know Bobby is a particular type of fuckface. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Bud the Cyborg, shout out to you, buddy. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Sass and Lupa. We've also got, Zach, you want to get a few of these super chats as I give some shout outs? Oh, Others Inc.'s here. Holy fuck. Good to see Others Inc. here. He's hanging out here again. Fatal Dragon 69, obviously. He chose that number for a reason. Dark, okay, Dark Trap. Shout out to you, Dark. Also, we got Mark Anderson. We got Dave. I got to give a few more, man. These are the guys that watch the show. We got Double M, as well as AD Inferniton, whatever that is. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you haven't, hit the like button. Over 1,400 people. We do appreciate you guys. Seriously, subscribe, hit the like button, tell everybody about the show. We got a few super chats here. We're going to do some outros. And just thanks for supporting what we do.
Yeah. So we got Hot Grits. He says Microsoft bringing back Ryse would be a Sony move. I think they should. I don't know what the Sony move is with that.
He thinks Microsoft bringing it back would be a Sony move?
Yeah, I don't know how that's. Are they bringing out a director's cut or what? No, it's not a Sony move. We got Drawn TJ. He says, if I'm Phil Spencer, next I go get Crytek, Crystal Dynamics, IO Interactive, Avalanche Studios, Techland, and Bandai Namco or EA. I'm looking at Ubisoft, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, dying for Techland and saying, oh, that'd be a great. It still probably would be a great acquisition, but
maybe
if it was, it would definitely be a little bit under fire right now if it was Microsoft.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, we got Lord Starkiller. He says, interesting how Jim Ryan says Sony is not done with organic growth. Lol. But that's true. Everybody's talking about organic, and I was like, this ain't organic anymore.
Shout out to Lord Starkiller.
So we got Darnell Hill. He says, did you guys talk about Hellblade already? No, we did not.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so. We'll have to cover it next week. Are there any others? I got a few here if you're done.
Yeah, we got Danny Passion Official. Finally, I became a member after watching 2+ years.
Damn.
Being a member, man.
Welcome, Danny.
Shout out to you, buddy. A nice new Xbox badge.
That's all I have. I can't go any further.
Don Otaku says, Fonz doesn't like games that focus on more gameplay than 20-minute cutscenes per minute.
Facts. I love movies, guys.
Fires,
I love movies. Just not ones
unless
based
they're
on
video
games. But I like, movies.
He was a big fan of the Abby scene.
Video games. Love
also, Fire Shadow says Zucker is so fraudulent. He says Elon Musk wants to. This is a weird change of direction. He says wants to build colonies on Mars just so the humans can start over. All right.
Okay.
Cedric H, shout out to you, buddy. He says get Raven Software to make X-Men Legends 3. Did they make the last one?
I think they did. Goddamn X-Men Legends, man. What the hell?
And then we've also got a few other ones. Stop Bandit says, I want WB. Then we got Nanopolymath, the one and only. Says organic growth for PlayStation is generations of Mark Cerny's hairstyles. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man.
Oh, they meant origami.
Origami.
Not organic. Oh, okay. Now I get it.
Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Seriously, thanks for rocking out with us. I'll say it again. You guys are amazing. Let us know your thoughts. Everybody in the comments, like I said, there's a lot of people in the comments after the show. Thank you guys for checking us out.
Yes,
and obviously, Fork Boy, thanks for coming on, man. I know you got up early today, but you still came on. You gave us some pretty cool insight on some stuff, man. Where can people find you? Thanks for joining us for the show. And what have you been playing?
Sorry, my headset cut out. You're talking to me, right?
I am, yeah. Your outro.
Find me Game Beyond the Box will be live tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Just been playing Dying Light. It was busy as hell November, December, and healthcare, and then kind of just relaxed January and play Dying Light until probably Borderlands comes out with I can't remember the name of
Tiny Tina's DLC.
Tiny Tina's wonderful adventure of madness.
I will not be playing Elden Ring as Dark Souls ruined any game like that forever.
So, what are you gonna do if your copy of Dying Light 2 has the infinite death loop bug like I have, and all the time you have, you live for 4 seconds, you spawn, you die?
I'm at 39 hours in the game. If that happens, then I will set it aside and move on to something else and go from there.
How can you just let go so easily, Fork Boy? I thought you were more committed.
No, I'm committed, but I'm also understanding that I can wait. So if I gotta wait, I can wait.
What
so
a bastard.
I can go back and play Anthem.
Yeah,
Go back and play Anthem. You probably waited for Anthem to get good too. It never happened.
I have 200 and something hours of Anthem. So yes,
Doing what?
There we go. That's the problem right there. All right, we got it.
I have 4 maxed out classes.
Chat, let us know what's wrong with Fork Boy. Obviously, let us know your thoughts on that. D-Batch, what have you been playing, buddy? Where can people find you?
I've been playing Halo. I'm at the last phase of it. I've been playing Dying Light 2, and I've been playing a lot of Sifu, man. Sifu has been kicking my ass. I love that game, man. Funny story, I thought it was only on PlayStation, so I bought
Epic Game Store.
I bought a copy of it because they said you can unlock it 2 days early. I was like, oh shit, I bought the wrong copy. I gotta buy the deluxe. So I was about to switch it over to get the deluxe. I did a quick little Google search, and it said, oh, it's on the Epic Store. And I looked on the Epic Store, and not only was it there, it was a lot cheaper. So I got my refund from Sony, and I purchased it on the Epic Store. And I gotta say, man, I really enjoy that game. If you like Kung Fu movies, games, if you like beat 'em up games, if you like games that are punishing, that are difficult, like old school games that are difficult, you got to master it. This is definitely the game for you. I'm loving everything about the game. If I had to rate it, I would say it's a solid 8.5 to like an 8, man. It's a fantastic game. You can find me on YouTube, D-Batch, and of course on Twitter, D_Batch.
D-Batch.
I wouldn't get it. I don't like games.
Oh yeah. Well, I was going to ask you what games you were playing, but I guess that means
I don't. I'm not playing anything.
So
at
where
all.
can people find? Can they find you anywhere though? Like, is that a?
Yeah, they could find me at Fonz Really Gaming, where I talk about games. I just don't play them at all. You know. Yeah. No, I actually I went back to Assassin's Creed and started playing that again. The Valhalla.
Did you beat Little Nightmares 2?
Not yet. Not yet. But I needed a dose of some open world goodness because those are my favorite type of games. I love open world games. So if people want to know what I love, it's open world games. So yeah, I like Ubisoft a lot because they provide me a lot of those. And Assassin's Creed, the reason why I went back to this is funny is the whole Techland thing. When they were talking about what we talked about earlier, the GPU issues and everything, saying that the S can't handle it. And I'm like, man, the S can handle Valhalla just fine, and it looks pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So
and that game's got HDR.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you know, it's pretty funny. But yeah, no. I've been playing that and Games Talk Live Sunday. That's it.
Zalker said he's going to be on there here coming up very soon, so that's good. We've
Awesome.
also got xCloud Toon Dog, brother. How you been? Where can people find you? What you've been playing?
Find me on Twitter, xCloud Tim Dog. I'm 500 hours in Dying Light, and I'm in a game glitch.
You game breaking bug?
Yeah. No. I've been playing Dying Light. I had to restart it like you and had to go through the tutorial twice. But I have to say I am enjoying it. I hope I don't encounter some of the bugs you've talked about. But you know, how long is the game itself? How long does it take to finish?
About 35 hours. Yeah,
it's a long game, so it's going to be overtaking. But I'm looking forward to possibly finishing it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm enjoying it. I was enjoying it. Like I was just pissed off because I couldn't fucking play it. Like, I don't like any of the factions I'm working for. It's kind of like Days Gone, where you're like, I don't like this dumb, I don't like any of these motherfuckers I'm doing missions for. But, I ended up liking the game, right? This is similar in that regard. I don't like the characters, the world building. I don't like the chick in the bazaar. He's like, the PKs watched us. They didn't help us at all when we asked. And I'm like, hey, can you help me? She's like, fuck off. She didn't help me. She did the same thing. I don't like any of that shit. I don't like getting sucker punched in the face 7 times throughout the first, 20 hours of the game. There's a lot of things I don't like, but what I do like is more than what I don't like. So I'm having fun with it, man. Check me out at dealer _gaming on Twitter. I dealer space II on Xbox Live, as well as here on YouTube. Check out my last video where I covered an article that literally used a solitaire website as a source, and we had fun shutting that down and showing off some beautiful gameplay from Dying Light 2, as well as so much more, guys. Thanks for supporting what I do.
Did you forget my outro, bitch?
Oh, well, I mean, I just figured you already had an outro when you talked the first time we jumped in here.
No, but it hurt my heart.
No,
I'll tell you that
I'll
right
come
now.
to you.
Okay.
But seriously, chat, just thanks for supporting us and support these guys on the panel. We're out now. Zucker, what have you been playing, buddy? Where can people find you?
Just fucking bloop, 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 hang up. Like, bye, everybody. Like, no!
What have you been playing and where can people find you?
Now you guys can find me Zalker87 on YouTube and Twitter.
YouTube and YouTube.
I've been playing a lot of Dying Light 2. Have I think 20, 25 hours into it. Obviously I'm enjoying gameplay with co-op. That's a big thing. If I would never play this game alone, I would get so annoyed. But I'm playing with a couple buddies and it's a lot of fun that way, but story's terrible. There's a lot of glitches. It needs a lot of work, but hey, what are you going to do? I've also been playing a lot of like the StarCraft campaign, just going through that again for I think the third or fourth time, just liking it a lot. And funny enough, Fonz, I jumped into Valhalla also on the Xbox.
Yeah.
I've been playing. I'm going through that game because I never beat it, but I'm 25 hours in, so I'm thinking about beating it because I'm really excited for Dawn of the Ragnarok, that expansion. It looks fucking cool.
Yep,
it looks
that's
very
what
different.
I'm getting ready for. Yep.
Oh yeah, and it's like I think it's $40, but it's like 35, 40 hours of content.
Yep.
It's supposed to be pretty big. So
When does that come out?
I'm looking for that comes out March 10th.
March.
So, and it looks really good, man. Like the way they talked about it, the different abilities, like it completely, you could turn into a raven, fly down and assassinate somebody because you're Odin. You're basically a fucking god.
What? BG last week did kind of have a good point. Like, where the fuck did this start happening?
I mean, that's why it was supposed to be a different game, and they made it something else, like a whole studio.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'm looking.
You were an
forward to it,
assassin hiding in some bushes next to some weirdos, but now you're a god turning into a raven and stuff. They have brought it, quite a few ways, but hopefully the animus shit just goes away at this point because it's fucking ridiculous. Like,
I'm with you on
just
that.
get rid of the fucking animus.
Yeah, the animus stuff I think could go, and I think they need to just go kind of somewhere else with it. But either way, I'm looking forward to it. So I've been playing those games a lot and looking forward to. Oh, and Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm trying to beat that before the second one, but that's not going to fucking happen.
I can't wait
There's
for
too
the
many
next Assassin's Creed game where you're hunting down, Richard Simmons, secret
You're literally
Templar.
fighting Surtur in the expansion. Like they're saying Surtur took over everything. You're going through the 9 realms. There's dwarves, frost giants. There's a shit ton in that Dawn of Ragnarok, man. It looked like it's
that's why
the
it
world
looked interesting to me. So
yeah, it's a little bigger than 1/3 of Valhalla. They said map wise, but in
I don't care about the map. I just care about if I'm hunting down eggs, so some fuckface in a sewer takes a shit. Like that was a side mission in Valhalla. And I was like, what the hell did y'all do? From Odyssey to Valhalla, your fucking side missions now suck. They are fucking horrible. So the guys that did Odyssey, that was a massive step forward, and with Valhalla, the side stuff, it's not even worth doing, honestly. But maybe this will update that. I don't know. Just my opinion. Let us know yours. And obviously, hopefully you enjoyed the show, guys. Check everybody out. Shout out to EFA Spartan in the super chat. Does this people talk about Xbox versions of Spider-Man, how they want that. What do you think of Prototype becoming Xbox of Spider-Man? I don't think they have anything in common, sir, except for that they're open world.
Yep, and you fly around and swing with, a big arm that impales people. It's
they're just, I don't know, man. Microsoft, I think Tony Bryant said it earlier in the chat, a Spawn game would be cool as hell. We haven't seen anything like that in a long time. But, at the end of the day, we'll see what they're working on, man. They got so many teams and studios. We will see. But, again, guys, we're out. Thank you for watching.
Later, everybody. Have a good one.
It's a wrap.
Dude, it's a wrap.